Hey everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today we have absolute terrible devastation in the garden. Now, I know that there are a lot of issues in the world that are way more important than my garden, but for those of you who garden, and especially those of us that start seeds and we baby our seeds and then we put out our plants, you'll understand how horrifying this is. So my sweet little girl, when she went out to feed the dog, she left our barn door open and our sheep got out and completely ate all of the broccoli, cauliflower, the kale, and half of our celery. Oh, it's awful. I mean, I'm gonna turn the camera around so you can see. There is tons, it's weedy now because it's been raining for the past 2 days, so weeds always tend to crazy spring up. But don't mistake for 1 second and think that that is an edible plant. It is unwanted plants in there. So I'm gonna turn around and you'll remember this is where, now they didn't touch the basil and the dill, but I'm gonna walk in here and show you. So this is just a little gate that Elijah and I had up, and you would think that would be enough, right? But no, it was not. They jumped over the beds over here and got in, and all of this whole thing, you can see little remnant plants, but they've been eaten. I don't know what they'll do. Right there, the main stalk of the kale is just gone. You can see even better right here. Like, look, that's kale and that vine. But that's kale amongst all this celery. Down here, you can see it even better. Just obliterated that kale plant. And a lot of the celery all around it. This celery was just a lot taller. The celery will be okay. It'll grow back. But, I mean, these are just gone. The whole bed. I mean, I don't think there's one plant that survived this. Every hole that we put in here is gone. See? Right down to the bare nubbin. Another one. More kale eaten. So the big question for us is, I mean, like, clearly we largely live off of our garden. And so we had put up like this gate, but we were assuming that just like a 3-foot chicken wire was going to be okay for us. And again, I'm going to turn you around. So this was the, you know, the 3-foot chicken wire to here. And I don't know why I was so dumb to think that. And one of the big things, like, we have tried to look up other fixes that people do, and there is a very popular YouTuber who put this great, like, 8-foot fence around his whole garden, and he has like boards at the top and boards at the bottom, and you know, I can't remember if it's like hardwire cloth, you know, all in it. But I started pricing that out. That was gonna cost us $1,200. We don't have $1,200. So we had to come up with a better fix than putting a, you know, a down payment on a car in fencing. And so here's what we came up with. So all of us who are actually on a budget and don't have, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars to spend on fencing, I purchased this. And I don't know if you can see this very well, but maybe in my hands you can. You see that netting? And so Elijah and I, we just put up, attach this to the posts that we have around everything, and then we attached it to the chicken wire below. and we just put it all the way around. I mean, literally this whole thing now is covered in this netting. And so now if a ram like rammed this, could they bust it? Of course they could, but they don't typically do that. And I know it would keep deer out too. It's actually called deer fencing. Sometimes they call it netting, garden netting, but you can just pick this up on Amazon. And actually, let me show you the box. So here is the box from the garden netting that we used. And it comes with zip ties, and it comes with garden staples, so that you can also attach it into the ground so that, you know, they can't just burrow under it. And this was like 20 bucks. So my point in even sharing this today is that first, we're all in the same boat, you know, we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to have gardens and offset our food bills, right? And so if our animals get in, that was just a little snack for those rams. That's another thing that just upsets me so bad. That could have been our greens for like the whole summer, and that barely did anything for those rams. So that is slightly frustrating. I'm a little frustrated. It's depressing, you know, that was a lot of work. I will replant broccoli and cauliflower and kale for fall, but now, you know, we've lost our summer crop. So, but I wanted to share the garden netting little idea because we're all looking for little tips and tricks to help keep our garden safe. And some people use that just to keep the birds off, which I kind of feel like you'd have to place that up high off of a plant in order to do that, because they could clearly peck through it. But that cost a total, because we did this one, and the other day Elijah and I want to just show you real quick. So Elijah and I put in this huge fenced area here by what we call the cage, where the posts are. We call that the wood posts, or is the cage. Here is now our tomato cage, but we have watermelons and peppers and flowers and all sorts of stuff in here. And we did it because last year so many of our tomatoes were eaten because our chickens would come over, and I was always told to let chickens roam free in your garden because they'll eat like tomato hornworms and things like that. But what they were doing last year was they would come in and they would obliterate tomatoes. I mean, and they wouldn't eat them. That's what drove me bonkers. It's not like it was offsetting it's not like this was offsetting our food bill for them, like a feed bill. This was, they would just go in and rip tomatoes open and then just leave them there. So it was not helping us whatsoever. But we put this up. I was so excited, and I think it's actually even in the video where I had showed that we had done this. There's a chicken in it. They got through the cattle panel anyway. And so I was feeling very exasperated because we had just done all that work to put these cattle panels up. But we went ahead and look, we netted those too. So now this whole cage is also netted, and we haven't seen one chicken in here since then. So I just want to encourage you, if you have losses due to farm animals or deer or rabbits or something, we are all struggling in this way, you know, like some people have a Japanese beetle problem. Some people here, ours almost always is our farm animals. We have deer. We struggle a little bit with deer, not as bad as some places, but the biggest one is our farm animals because they love to just jump in and eat it all. So we struggle too. So if you have great ideas for things like this, let us know. We'd love to share it with other people. I love it when other people are reading the comments so that they can get ideas too, because after all, we're just all gardeners and we're all just trying to provide food for our families. So I wanted to pop in real quick and let everybody know kind of what happened and our terrible garden tragedy where so much of my work is just down the tubes. But I'm going to regroup and try again. So remember, if we can rebound from tragic garden losses, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.